out of here.
All right, welcome back to Timeless Talks. It's officially 2023, and we got to start things off the right way with finances. This right here will be the best financial literacy video you will ever watch right here on Timeless Talks. First, I want to introduce my co-host to the left of me by the name of
your boy Chris Ramsey. Hello. Like my man Nico said, we are tapping in with money moves for 2023. Let's get active. Go ahead and introduce yourselves to the left of me. Let's talk about it.
What's up, y'all? I'm Carter.
I'm Chandler.
And can you guys describe what you guys do, on your free time? Can you talk about your financial lives, how you value that within just everything you do?
So a lot of my free time goes towards finding ways to make money right now. As you guys are mostly broke college students trying to get your bag up, it's hard if you play sports, but I do a couple different jobs. I have kind of found and strategized the best way to mix high-paying jobs that aren't fun and low-paying jobs that are more fun and more beneficial for your resume.
Right.
So on an average week, I have 3 main jobs. I wake up every morning, I set my classes for the 10 to 2 p.m. area, and I have a couple night classes to make up for the credits I don't get, but I always wake up at 7:45, and I'm an options trader. I trade for a company called Limitless. Shout out my boys at Limitless, Stephen Borg, Chicago. But I do options trading on the S&P 500. So I wake up at 7:45, I check any overnight news, check for any news coming today, I check if there's an earnings report for any major companies in it. I check for basically just any big speaker speaking that day, look through all the news, and then I mark my supports and resistances, and that's really all I trade off of is support, resistance, and just stop losses, keeping track of your money, being smart with it. So that's my first job. Then I go to my classes, get those done. Then I go to my second job. It's at a company called Iron Connect.
Nice.
We own a private dealer-to-dealer website where you can buy, sell, and trade basically agriculture, truck, farming equipment, things like that. So that's the second side of me that I like is the sales side. I'm a big sales guy. I like talking to people. I like selling things. I like finding products that I really believe in myself and providing that to other dealerships to help them become successful through my work. I just like talking to people in general. It's good to market. I've gotten job opportunities through it. I've talked to some people almost every single week. They love when I call. And I've gotten more experience with people who hate when I call, which makes it that much easier to get through the bullshit because once you get through those type of people, it's like...
It's smooth.
It's smooth, yeah. It's like, on to the next, on to the next. Every call is a different person.
Well, really quick, you mentioned options trading. So for the people who don't know what that entails, can you kind of give us a brief run through?
Yeah.
Like, there might be some people, broke college students, especially, So.
It's basically, you see your day traders for stocks. It's basically day trading at 100 times leverage for those. So basically a move like a dollar move will make you profits as if it moved $100 on a normal investing rate. So it's more fast-paced trading on supports and resistances and smaller trading schemes rather than investing your money and waiting a couple years for the S&P to go up a certain amount of money.
Got you. So who would you recommend that type of trading for?
I would recommend that type of trading. In my opinion, you never want to start full-time in this area. If you're interested in the stocks, in the finance, in the market in general, keep your eyes on it. But there's something called paper trading that I did for almost 2 years. It's where you can open an account with fake money. I do mine through Thinkorswim on TD Ameritrade because that's really a lot of what I use, and it's one of the more high-tech platforms that still has beginner resources. So I would say open a paper trading account. They let you open it with $1,000. So you have that money in your bank account. Say I had $1,000 in my bank account, like I want to start now. Paper trade with $1,000 and see what would have happened. Would you have gained $1,000 and then lost it all? But the key to trading is making small amounts and not looking at the dollar amounts. You got to look at the percentage that you lost or the percentage that you won. If you just played as a percentage game, then you're able to handle larger amounts of money easier because people will trade. I have traders in my Discord right now who have went from $2,000 all the way to $10,000 in a month.
Dang, yeah.
And it's like they might have got lucky with some setups. They're not fully informed on what's happening, but then they're like, oh, screw it, I'm gonna put $5,000 down on this trade. They lose it all. And then it gets in their head. Then it's just like a gambling game because there's a fine line between analysis and trading and gambling. Because you can go on any time of the day and trade that money that the stock market is open,
And
obviously.
over-leveraging, too.
Yeah, over leveraging is big.
Got you.
So
got
where did you learn all this knowledge from? Is this just all self-taught? Is there like someone that you look up to and learn knowledge? Where'd you get this from?
There's a lot of people I looked up to. I would say I watched so many YouTubers during quarantine and COVID. I got in kind of like a grind phase when COVID hit, rather than like a sit back. Like I started working a lot more. I started having more money to play around with. That's when I really geared more towards crypto and more towards stocks and more towards basically just finances in general. And so I started watching more people. I started experimenting. Obviously, I didn't know back then with having nobody to teach me. I lost a lot of money. I probably have lost over 5 figures in the market just learning.
Learning.
But
yeah.
so that's something I'll never put a price on. I will lose any amount of money to learn how to gain and be better, because obviously I've made it back since then.
Yeah. Right.
And obviously I've been profitable and I still do it, and now I trade for a big company and doing it. So
That's really good,
impressive.
honestly.
knowledge is expensive at times.
Yeah.
You gotta learn the hard way.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Chandler, go ahead and run us through what you do in your day to day.
Right, so I just got back from military training actually in September. Then I got a job as like a network technician
Oh, nice.
in my hometown. And kind of on the side, what I've been getting into actually more now is I just created an LLC/S corp company based out of Wyoming. It's called COPE. It's like a charge and protection entity with 2 sister companies below that or managed by it, vending machines and ROI marketing, a marketing agency as well. And kind of just putting all my time right now into acquiring locations for the vending machines as well as potential clients for that marketing agency right now. So yeah, that's what I'm doing.
With vending machines, how much do you like plan to profit off? So like, if you set up a vending machine for a month, how much do you plan
So
to profit
really,
off that?
it's like with what Carter said with trading. It's a huge numbers game, right? Like one vending machine, you're not going to receive too much expected profit because you got to pay for like the food you put in the vending machine. Location is like the biggest thing, absolutely 100% of the time. You need a location, and then you need what I've thought about doing and what I plan to do is have like a VR code on that vending machine
That's
where it's
smart.
like a survey of like what would you rather have, what do you not like.
Yeah.
Once you go through a month or two of kind of basing what's in there based off the clientele of the people who live there and who actually use the vending machine, once you get all that rolling, I've read you can get anywhere between 150 to 350 bucks a month just with one vending machine. So my goal by the end of this year is to get like 30. That's what I'm really shooting for. Yeah.
Jesus.
Big numbers.
Yeah.
It's big numbers. So, did you also, like during COVID, did you also go through a grind phase?
Yeah,
Or
I
was
think a ton of people, like a lot of my friends also did that. Carter as well, like you just said, where you're locked in, you don't know what to do, and you're faced with like 2 scenarios. You either hunker down and grind, or you waste your time and play video games or do whatever else. So yeah, it was definitely a grind phase for sure.
Yeah. And that's amazing. I feel like that's kind of what's separating you from a lot of people now, especially like our age group. Because I know personally, I talked to a lot of people and they took COVID and they used excuses. You know what I'm saying? They're like, oh, yeah. And then so I feel like it's amazing that you two took that time to, get to business, and now you both are, getting successful and helping other people.
I
as
feel
well.
like there's different like ways people go about it, because like during COVID, I feel like for me, I took the athletic side of things. Like I took all that time,
Yeah.
to try my absolute
Which is
best to
great.
become a D1 athlete, and
Yeah.
you guys took your time and tried to be the best, financial literacy teachers you can possibly be. So while I got you guys here in this podcast here, can we just discuss, start off with the importance of financial literacy and just, talk about how to manage money and manage your financial decisions smartly? Can we just go ahead and break that down on what your perspective of, being, financially literate is for you guys? Either you can start.
Well, for me, financial literacy is step one, right? You don't want to just start a business blind, right? You can make you can get sued, really. Like it's a big game you're playing. If you're going to start a business and you don't know what you're doing, you're going to face a lot of problems, and you're not going to know how to get out of them, and bad things can happen. So financial literacy is definitely step one, and that's what we were just talking about, like what we did for COVID, like hunker down, take a course. There's tons of them around all over the internet.
Right.
Find who you like, find who you connect with, and really sit down, take notes, and learn. Learning that's how you get from point A to point B. That's start the business. How do you succeed? You fail and you learn from it, and you rinse, wash, repeat. You just keep learning. That problems come, you face them, you learn from them, and that's where success comes right there.
Problems are the best thing that can happen to you. If you have no problems and you just breeze by once you hit a problem later down the road, the earlier you can reach problems, the faster you're going to problem solve and learn how, like, you in general learn more about your business. Because say you started a business selling clothes, you didn't know how to market it online, your first problem is going to be business.
Yeah.
How are you going to market it online? How are you going to grow it? Once you reach those problems, you like dive deeper into the industry you're in and you learn more and more and more until you just have it down to a T of what works.
Yeah.
So what's the biggest thing that you guys learned while, owning businesses? I mean, like, what's like the biggest lesson or the biggest problem that you faced so far?
I'd say for me, for my options, like me trading options, especially every day I go on live or I'll go on like just even sending trades. I'm handling over 20,000 people's money. Like, this is no joke.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people who hop in here for gambling. They see the TikToks, they're like, oh, I'm game, which TikTok is a great way to market.
Right.
They see it, they're like, let me start making money. Let me be different, which it's great. That's a great mindset, but you gotta go past, I want to be different than everyone else. That's a really good first step, but the biggest thing for me, I'd say, is time management and knowing what you're getting into. Like, if you ever start a business, I don't know if you guys are thinking about starting one. This probably is your own business alone, but how much time did you have to spend thinking about all of this, finding all your equipment, finding a place to do it, finding people to interview?
Right.
There's so much work on the back end that you have to put in and
It's a
do
process.
before you actually come out with your product. And that's where people get in their own heads and they like, it's really nice to have somebody else you're doing it with. So you guys are probably like, say you're like, oh, I don't know, like this equipment's a lot and I'm in track right now. You can boost them and be like, nah, we got this. We'll make it back eventually. Like,
Yeah. So
this will be nothing.
That's great. Yeah. I
say that
agree
for
with
sure.
that. Yeah. And then I feel like for a lot of people also, especially with us, the kind of route that we took or that I learned, like you guys said, the trial and error, face problems. My thing is like, we'll figure it out eventually. Like, money comes back. There are people out there to support us. We could find the connections. We can meet the people, like how you said earlier, networking, meeting people. And that's kind of the route that we took. And, even now, like we met you guys. And so we're getting a lot of advice too when it comes to business as well as other people out there who are listening. Yeah.
Like,
So
I
it's
feel like there's
amazing.
a mentality or just a certain hunger or approach you got to go about it as an entrepreneur. Because as an entrepreneur, it's not your normal 9 to 5. I mean, you got to be willing to risk take. You got to be willing to, get into so many ruts and so many problems and basically get your hands dirty. I mean, when we had the chance to talk to the CEO of Huddle, all he could talk about was basically just about, how scrappy he had to get things and how difficult it was to start out. And that's what got them to the top. So going into our next part of this podcast, can we talk about saving money? What does it mean to save money and how much money do you guys put away out of each paycheck?
So I think one point to really emphasis on, based on the point you just said, being rich and being financially free are two completely different things. It's all about how you base your time and your money. Because time is almost more important than money. You ask any rich person, they want their time back that it took to get all the millions that they made. But let me think how I want to phrase this. Somebody who makes $100,000 a year and buys cars, shoes, has the newest fashion or whatever, spends $90,000 of it. People don't realize that the person who's working the $60,000 teaching job and he's investing half of it and living off what he can. He has 3 times more money than the person who's making $100,000 and spending 90 of it. Yeah. He's investing that money, and down the road, that's really what investing is. It's not how much you make in general, but it's more of what percent you invest and what percent you put back into it.
100%.
Because
100%.
a lot of people get caught up with the big number that they see at the top of the job, but. I'm taking a job where I work Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday for $60,000 a year. I'm taking that over a Monday through Friday job that pays $100,000 a year, because those 2 days I can not only figure out my own way to make money and my own way to make it so I don't even have to work that job and make $60,000, but I also say you work Monday through Friday and you travel a couple times a week, or you travel a couple of times a month for a business. You're throwing away so much of your time just for that extra $40,000 when you can be investing your money off of that $60,000 and making it back in a different way.
Do you not get scared if there's not like a steady like rate of pay? So like, let's say like you're going through in your business right now, you can't get clientele, if you're really struggling, and like there might be 2 to 3 weeks where you're not getting any money, you're paying things off, you're focusing on like the logistics of things. Like, does that not scare you at all versus a normal 9 to 5 where you can get an easy paycheck?
No, I would much rather do that because that's where it tests yourself. If you're half about starting a new business, I don't know, I'm gonna try it, see if it works. It's not gonna work. If you 100% believe in something, and you would put all of your money and time into it, especially at this age where we have the most spendable money.
Yeah.
You're in college. Say someone handed you 10 grand right now. What do you have to pay off? School maybe, some payments
That's
and rent.
it. Literally, that's it.
But you everybody comes out of college in debt or break even. It's not very common for people to come out of college in profit from them making their own money.
Yeah.
Right? That's not normal. So you have so much spendable money right now. It's just how you spend it. If it's bars, if it's going out on the weekend, if it's vacations, or if it's locking down and trying to find a certain business and strategy to be ahead of the game once you graduate. You'll be taking more vacations in the future down the road.
Right.
That's true.
Long term.
Yeah.
Right.
Chandler, what about you? What's your mindset on saving?
I think there's a fine line between. So if we're talking about how much someone had saved up before they plan on starting a business, there's a fine line, right? You can have that one mindset where it's like, you know what, I don't have a plan B. I'm just going to go all in and attack, and there's a certain amount of motivation that comes with that, where you can, your chances of success vary upon many things. But like, I think in order to start a business and really be able to pay attention to the business and not funding the business, you need something. You need something that you're holding on to, like whatever it is, $5,000, $10,000. You need something. You need some startup money. You can't just say, I'm an entrepreneur now, start an LLC. You have some sort of plan. You have no money to start one. You're going to face so many problems. There's lots of taxes that are involved. An LLC is like one of the most difficult things to maintain, and especially to build. It's very, very difficult. You need money. You really do. You need at least $5,000 at least.
Yeah.
And so whether that's all saved up from your 9 to 5, some people are able to work a 9 to 5 and have like a side business, and then once that business takes over and you end up making more and you kind of figured out the flaws, you've nailed out all the hardships you've had, then you quit your 9 to 5. And I find that to be a better way than not having any source of income whatsoever and then saying you're an entrepreneur and start a business and have no backup at all. I'm not saying it's good to have a backup, because then you might start to get a little you might start to take it easy and you think you have a lot of leeway when you don't.
Right.
But you need something. You got to have some source of income. You're paying a lot of money when you have an LLC, for sure.
So when it comes to you guys' work, either your entrepreneurship with the vending machines and your with your main company, your two sister companies, or you with your stocks and your option trading, has there been any point in time where you kind of got complacent and stagnant? And like, how'd you get through that?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I think for the business side of things, like if you're owning like a business, it's kind of hard until you've like been in the industry long.
Right. It's especially when you're starting a business, you really can't see a way in which you would become complacent. There's so many problems you face, especially off the bat. I mean, decisions you have to make, and I don't know how you could be complacent if you're in that industry for a very long period of time, maybe. But from a business side of things, it's hard. It's really hard to become complacent because it's your money. Like you will lose your money, and you will, like I said, I brought it up earlier, but there are literally people who are looking for new people who just started a business and to sue, because some people are starting businesses.
That's like people's jobs. They're looking to catch you lacking.
There are people who are starting businesses, LLCs or S corps or whatever we're talking about, and they don't understand the taxes of it. They don't understand the forms they need to fill out or the steps they have to take. You need an agent to do that.
Right.
Some people are like, I don't need an agent. I can just do it myself. You're going to get sued, and you're going to get sued for more than you're making,
Literally.
more than you have, for sure.
Yeah.
And that agent fund's coming out of that $5,000 that you need to start.
Right. So you need to. It comes all the way from the beginning of what this podcast was, and it's learning and knowledge first, and then there's a fine line between that decision that you make between when you start your business and how much you need to learn beforehand. That's subjective. You decide, but I would recommend learning as much as you can first, and then saying take that jump and do what you want to do, chase your dreams.
And I'd say for options, I've become complacent at times. Like I've become laid back, and it's not necessarily because of oh, like I've just not been checking the market lately. I always have that drive to check the market because that's what I do. That's my whole job for this company. That's what I get paid for. That's what I make my own money doing trading. But I'd say there's times that definitely test you as an options trader. When you're trading to as many people as I do, how our Discord structured is you can join and you can see the members, like you can't see the member chat, you can see like a huge chat of everybody. You can see our success tab where everybody is posting thousands of pictures of profits daily on what they're making. And then you can see like our rules, regulations, how this isn't financial advice, how it's just our trading analysis. And I have had weeks where I miss 3-4 trades. And obviously I have a systematic, I have it down to a T on if I lose this amount of trades a week, I just watch the market for the rest of the week. I don't trade. Like I just take my losses because losses, being a good trader isn't how many wins you get, it's how many losses you can manage. And so I've had people tell me that I'm a horrible trader. I've had people tell me to give up. I've had people telling me if they would have traded their record, they should be working for this company too. I've had people DM me on Discord and tell me to kill myself because they just lost their like savings account. Yeah. Their whole savings account on one trade. And obviously, they're over leveraging. And what happens is I set a stop loss at 10% and a take profit at 10%. So that way, if you lose 10% in a trade, you're out. If you win 10%, great. You keep going. Like you cash out there too. But if you win 3 out of 5 trades a week, or even like 4 out of 6, just anything slightly above half, you'll be in profit for that week, no matter what way you calculate it. Which is easy. My average trading record right now in our Discord is 89%. But no, these people are ruthless. These people are throwing their full accounts, and then when it hits the stop loss, they're not selling, so they're down like 70-80% when I'm already out of the trade looking for another one. And some people are just hopeless in that matter of they just love the gambling side. They love to see it turn back. In their minds, they're like, oh, if it went up 100%, I have 20 grand now, but they're sitting at 2 grand in their account, and they're just like, wow.
So while we're on the topic of complacency and these threats that you're getting to, can you just talk about kind of like the lifestyles that you both live? Because I can tell that you're two disciplined type of guys. Discipline is a big part. I feel like for us athletes and even you guys for financial literacy, you guys both work out. Can you just talk about what it's like to keeping like a healthy body, mind, and soul throughout this whole entire process? Because it's tough doing what you guys do. So can you just walk people down how important that is as much as the financial side is?
Well, for me, for sure, and Carter's been helping me out with this actually. I am on a huge journey to eat right and treat my body right. Keep this well-oiled machine running.
Right.
It's you can't eat McDonald's and expect yourself to run perfectly the next day.
Right.
You're just feeding yourself crap, and so that's a huge one for me. Trying to eat as well as I can. A lot of cooking, trying to learn how to be a good cook, so that's it's kind of fun. Not gonna lie,
Ratatouille.
I got some cookbooks I'm looking through, seeing what I want to make.
That's amazing.
No, it's something I enjoy doing. I've always wanted to learn how to cook for myself, and I might as well try and eat right in that process of doing it because they go hand in hand. But another thing is like you said, physical activity is a huge one. I mean, even if you're just going for a run. I feel like everybody needs to do something physically challenging every day. Walk, you need to get out and get some sun, and you can't just sit in your room all day and be on your computer,
And leave your.
And I work with computers all day, and half of my business is online in and of itself. So I mean, you need to get at least 30 minutes to an hour a day. It's crucial. Yeah. It's crucial for success. Working out. Yeah.
Got you. That's step one. That's a step.
And
you said leave your phone.
You gotta leave your phone. If you're going on a walk, if you're going to work out, it's all right to check your music and songs while you're working out. But if you're doing anything outdoors, especially, I leave when I go for a run around Holmes Lake, I leave my phone in my car. When I go for even a walk, some days in the morning, if I knew I wasn't gonna be doing a whole lot that day, I was gonna go to work, a lot of screen time. You need those vitamins and getting the sunlight, getting just outside and just looking around because. I've noticed when I'm outside doing work like mowing or going on a walk or just talking to friends, hanging out, playing sports, that's when I get my own time to myself to just think. It's become so popular to just pull out your phone and just distract yourself in awkward situations or just distract yourself, because you ever just sit on the couch and watch TikTok, and then the next thing you know, it's like 2 hours
Like
later.
hours
you're just
go
like,
by.
Yeah, it's
It's
like wow,
you-
I just blew so much time that I could have just.
TikTok is like
That
one of the
buried myself.
greatest inventions of all time, and it's also the worst. It's
Yeah.
like it's
Exactly.
horrible and great at the same time. You
Yeah.
really have to use it mindfully. You
Mhm.
can't, because you can waste so much time just scrolling all day.
Oh, for sure.
And,
Scary.
and what the worst part about it is, it's like each video, right? Like how I could probably watch 100 videos and spend like 3 minutes. You just swipe.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
it's like
It's
like
killing
people.
your attention span.
And you
really.
don't
Yeah,
even
it-
remember any
It's
of
just
this for the
destroying your
most part.
attention span, because you just look at people on TikTok. It's like boom, boom, boom. Then if something actually catches their eye, they gotta swipe back to it because they're
Right,
already just
yeah.
blowing mind video
it's,
by video.
It's training your mind that there's always something like. It's making it hard, like when we talk about like learning or like reading or something. Our attention spans have gotten to the point where we can't even focus
Yeah,
on something for that
exactly.
long because we have everything accessible. Boom, I'm on board. Boom, you know, you just keep going, and it's just like you're training your mind that there's always something else to do,
Mhm.
and it's really hard to focus and get hunkered down and learn something or read or do
Leave
anything
that phone.
productive for more than an hour because your brain's like, you know, I'm used to just watching 30 videos in 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Right.
It makes it tough. It
I
makes it really
completely
does.
agree, and I kind of worry now, like with the kids in this generation,
Right.
because like I see what they call iPad kids, iPad
Right.
kids.
The
I always
iPad
got
kids,
an
yo.
Hey,
Always got
those-
an iPad.
It's
Everything.
scary, like
Right?
it really is. But
Like they can't eat without being on their phone. They
can't.
can't. That's the worst. When you see
Can't
like
do anything.
like us sitting around a table, say we're all just eating, you just look over at a table at a restaurant and see everybody's on their phones.
Mhm.
Like, be social. Just
It's a
talk.
Just
different time
enjoy it.
period.
It really is.
A lot of videos I feel like can be discouraging too, because like even for you guys, right? What if there's somebody who knows nothing about stocks and nothing about trading? If they format the video right
No,
and
literally.
get the
Never-
right
yeah,
screenshots
you're
of
never
them
gonna-
trading successfully, bro, and like make a course right for $50, and they sucker so many people in there because they got
Oh,
viral hits on
yeah,
TikTok.
that's
That's a
supposed to be.
profitable business right there,
You know,
scamming people.
Yeah,
can
you can
successfully
literally
scam people.
scam. And I do, like, there's people who can go on TikTok, advertise their Discords, pay as long as they pay someone $50 to make them videos, pay someone $50 to make them a Discord that has their course on it. People are paying left and right, and all they're doing is twittering stock option trades, how to trade stocks, stock
insane.
call outs. So they're taking someone
Stock
else's
call
call
outs.
out and putting them in there, 2 things that they have paid, and by having 4 customers at $25 a month, that's all their money back, and from there it's profit. It's
There-
scamming. That just shows how makeable money is. That
There's a lot of
It's a
different
little
ways to
low.
go about it.
I've been in probably 15, 20 different stock trading Discords when I was learning. That
Yeah.
that if I go in them now, it's just dead. There hasn't been any talking
Everybody
in it.
found out.
A year
Oh,
and a half.
no.
They were like, "Oh, this business is dead." Everyone's figuring out that I'm garbage. But
So like for the people out there who don't know about that, what's a way you could say for people to kind of avoid that problem, to get pulled in by the scammers?
it's tough. For me, I haven't really had a whole lot of problems with that because I never paid for a Discord. A lot of them used to be free, but it's I don't know.
It would
There's
be almost impossible to decipher who's
Yeah.
real or fake.
Oh,
yeah, 'cause
they're
like you
so
just said,
well
if you
formatted.
format it right, you
Yeah.
got it.
Because say you format a shitty one and you make $1,000, you're gonna pay $400 of that dollars, $500 of that dollars to format it so well that everyone's gonna be like, wow. Because you could,
Insane.
it's gotten to the point where you can literally go online and buy followers for everything. So
That's
if you
true.
pay
We talked
enough,
about that the other day.
yeah.
What, 10K for what? 35?
Yeah, it's 10K for $35 on Instagram. And then you're here thinking like, wow, I just worked my ass off for 2 years to get 10K. That's what I'm saying, yeah.
That's a buy follower.
I'm not buying followers.
That's
I'm
a
not-
good
So if these boys go
Sorry.
up 10K in the
Oh
next
my
God.
week or
No
so,
lie.
you heard it here
I heard that
first.
number. I'm like, 10K for $35?
I'm like, ah, I got some room in my wallet.
I feel like that doesn't, because they're like bots.
They are bots.
So what
So they
happens
don't like
is they
to
don't
anything.
talk. That's like in my Discord, there's 24,000 people, and they all talk. Like if you go in the members chat any time of the day, market's open or not, you see people talking and talking.
Yeah.
Everybody's talking about the market. It's not like one of those things where, well, I'm sure there's people who have joined and then aren't active anymore, joined and quit because they full ported their mom's college fund.
Credit card.
But yeah, they dropped all their credit card and now they're hiding from the police. But
Everything, IRS and all.
Okay, so another topic I want to get into, the importance of debt and how to get out of debt and manage debt correctly. What do you guys have to think and say about that?
this young, I don't think you should even be in debt. The only thing you should be in debt for is school if you choose to go the college route. I mean, if you're going to start your own business, if you actually really wanted to start your own business that bad, you create the business as you have another source of income that you can fund the business with.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't think you should be in debt at all. I
Well,
mean,
if somebody takes out a loan, bro, like somehow
Yeah.
gets a $20,000, $40,000 loan to start up this business, right? Boom, something tanks.
That's what I'm
They're
saying.
down $40,000.
that's what I'm saying. They drop a $40,000 loan. They put it all in this business. Not only is it $40,000, but it's 15% APY. So what is that? Like $6,000 also. So that's $46,000 that they gotta pay. They didn't even spend the $6,000, and now they got this crappy business. I think you gotta test it with your own money, because
Yeah.
once you lose your own money
Your
right in front of
hard-earned
your
money.
eyes, your stomach drops. You grow a little because you're like, wow, like I need to put so many more hours, so much more time into this next time. And I've tried drop shipping. I've slightly gone into copywriting, affiliate marketing. I've lost so much money trying different things, but it's taught me so
It's
much.
worth it. It's
The
worth it.
experience,
I would
also
never,
lost-
I wouldn't change a thing.
Yeah.
I've dropped over $1,000 on some courses, and the things they've taught me, I'd say the number one thing that all the courses I've bought have taught me is mentality. It all started when I started trading Forex and like HFX, high frequency Forex. You remember that whole Iron Academy scam? I used to be like a leader in one of those. I used to be getting home as a sophomore from classes, from baseball practice, and I would be hosting trading calls at like 9 at night. I'd have like 20, 30 bots on there. Then I'd be like, yo boys, we watching the markets, not having a clue what I was doing. But I sounded like I knew what I was doing. I
It's
followed the
so neat to
systems.
know.
I went through all the classes. Oh dude, it was a fun time. We all learned the hard way. We all dropped 300 bucks. You were in it too. He was on my calls. He was
Academy, yeah.
that made me some friends, but that made me a lot of enemies. I'll tell you that much.
That's hilarious.
But that taught me mentality. That taught me mentality. Different dropshipping courses. They open your mind up to how much money you can really make. Of course, then they go on to bullshit you into their marketing pyramid scheme of their company. But
That's how it is sometimes. I mean, so from everything that you learned, there was something you mentioned earlier about, you know, education, getting a job, getting that steady rate of income. How important do you think college is in just getting a really good education? Is like, some people don't go the college route and still be successful. Some people get the college route and don't end up being successful. Well, what's your mindset on that?
it depends on what type of person you are. If you're going into be like a doctor or some service that you need a degree for, I don't think a degree is bad at all. I think a degree is like a set standard you can have for yourself. You will pay it back eventually, but you can get into good jobs, and there is a lot of jobs that you can't level up in unless you have a degree.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, but it all depends on what suit you want to go to. So say I have like a couple different ideas I'm on, and I'm really trying to expand in one of my businesses I'm starting up right now. If I would make it to the $10,000 a month factor, obviously it'd still be improving, but if I ever made it to $10,000 a month in this next year, I'd drop out of college.
Instantly.
I would instantly.
sure.
Because if you can make $10,000 a month, you would have to work at a job for 30 years and build your way up the whole system, just working your way up slowly. And what they don't tell you is, as inflation is going up every single year,
Right.
that's why they give you a raise every year, is to match
so it
that
just
inflation
matches it.
level. Because they're basically keeping you at the same exact salary as the price of everything else goes up. Like,
Man.
they give you that salary, it bumps you up, the price of everything in the economy goes right up with it.
So you-
Like, there's
yeah.
probably a little bit of gap. And then as you get older, like, our parents talk about how gas was like $1, gas was $1.50.
$5 for the
Their salary was
right?
$50,000 a year. Now their job, for that exact same job, the salary is $100,000 a year
Yeah.
now, and gas is
like
$2, $3. Yeah.
That's
I mean,
fair.
for the company, what they want longevity, bro. They want you
Yeah.
to stay at that job. They want you to level up. They want to
Exactly.
keep giving you those raises
Yeah,
so you can
they show
pay
you
for
that
things.
reward.
Right. They can
Yeah.
pay for things like, let's say, like
Exactly.
you get like a $80,000 job, right? They give you a raise to like $120,000. You buy a beautiful Lexus, a
Oh,
beautiful
yeah.
BMW, right? Now you got car payments.
Yep.
Now you got to stay at this job, making sure that you have this dedicated paycheck to this car payment, and you're stuck.
Exactly.
You're stuck in that
Exactly.
job. I think. Do you believe in nowadays the only way that you can really make good money is by job hopping to different jobs?
I am a believer in that. I wouldn't have said that
Wow.
if I was alive probably 30, 40 years ago, but I do, because
Really?
there's always a better option. Say you work at a job for 4 to 5 years, and then you're like, oh, this 80 grand is so nice. A competitor comes up to you, as long as you didn't sign like a contract or something
Yeah.
against it. A competitor comes up to you and goes, we on average pay our guys $100,000, and we take 50% off of your first car purchase with us. Like, so they're dropping huge numbers. It's almost like
I'm gone.
yeah, like you're gone. Obviously, they're dropping like more incentive based, like
Yeah.
better insurance, better this, better that, and all that happens is the companies figure out what their competitors charge. they bump it up like this, and then it's like this, and it's just in track with
Back
the
and forth.
economy and inflation going up for sure.
Along with that, like job hopping and everything, a lot of people in this generation, are tired of how jobs treat them, but some people are afraid of jumping into the unknown. You know what I'm saying? Like going into new jobs, new businesses, new areas. So what advice or like what type of ideas would you have for the people who, are too scared to go and chase their dreams or do something new with their life?
Jump, do it.
Jump,
Jump, do it.
It's
There's
a trap.
You have to.
It's a mental trap. If you're a business and you're talking about your like coworker or your workers that you have below you, why would you not only point them in the direction to level up in your own business? You're not going to be like, yeah, we're really nice over here, but they also treat their employees well. No, you're just going to keep putting things in front of their eyes that are long-term for the business that they're working in right now, which makes it seem so out of the norm to jump to a different job. At the end of the day, it's not the money you're missing out, it's the time you're missing out on.
Right, you said it before
Time,
too.
Yeah, time is a bigger investment than the money, because if somewhere else has less hours and more pay, and you're afraid to jump to it because you're afraid of your job position that you're at right now, that's sad.
Yeah, I agree.
You're losing out on so much time.
Chandler,
Sure.
I'm gonna ask you this specifically. What is your definition of like financial freedom? Because like he said, time is money, and your time is so much more important than the money. What is your definition of financial freedom?
I think financial freedom is living within whatever means you set for yourself and not having to worry about, like, to me, an example of financial freedom is going out to eat with the boys or something. I'm not even looking at what the receipt is. Like, that's financial freedom to me. It's whatever limit you set yourself. Some people can say, like, some people have a small business who make, whatever, how much money, 80 grand or whatever a year. If they're living within their means and their means are relatively low, they're financially free, and that's what we are shooting for, like everyone wants to get rich, right? But financial freedom is the real jackpot, because then you have that time you can spend doing whatever else you want, having other hobbies, and learning other new things, and then possibly more money comes with that too. So it's just like being able to work when you need to work, and not when someone else needs you to work for them. That's point blank period number one, financial freedom.
So you're the mindset with that too?
Yeah, I'd say financial freedom is making an amount that you can comfortably live and not being like regulated by time. So that would mean if it's owning your own business, because you're still technically financially free if you retire, like 62 or 63, whenever you decide to retire. You have no more time for all the things you were younger. You're financially free by definition. But financial freedom to me is being 35, 40 and having any time. Like I could text if you have a boss, or if you could plan it out in your own business, just be gone. Like I could leave tomorrow to go to Colorado for a week, come back. If that's in my means of spending, means of what I'm making, I think it's more about the time to have what you do. Because anybody can be like, I'm not financially free, I can't go buy this Bugatti right now.
Bugatti.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's all just kind of about having that time to do everything. Whereas if you wait and you work the 9 to 5 till you retire at 62, they give you your millions of dollars or whatever that you've saved up in your investments, but you don't got time for anything else.
Yeah.
It's a weird thought process, because like what we want so badly is what we don't want to have to worry about like later on in life. It's like we want to be financially free, so we don't ever have to worry about money. I don't have to work. Like nobody wants to do this. It's like follow your dreams, right? But it's like we want to be free. We want to go do our own hobbies, have family, spend time with them. Like this is what we're chasing, but we have to have a money mindset so that we can get there. And that's what's so hard. It's like, which one do you focus on more?
Right. And having like mini retirements almost through your career, being 20, 30, 40, just having those small retirements instead of one big retirement when all your time to do a lot of things you could have done is gone.
I like that, mini retirements. Okay.
Famous quote by J. Cole in one of his songs. He said that you can't take it when you die, but you can't live without it. And he was just talking about money. And I think the song is called ATM. It's called Count It Up.
Yeah.
And like that just always stuck with me. He's like, man, like having all this money is great, being financially free, great. But if the people in your life, aren't there for you, if the people in your life aren't loving, and you're chasing something that's it's not called monetary. What's it called? Like when something like you're chasing it's not meaningful. It's materialistic. That's
Yeah,
what we're like. You're
materialistic,
chasing
for
something
sure.
material, and like materials give you that short-term dopamine, that short-term satisfaction.
Mm-hmm.
But in the long run, it's really about the process and getting there. I feel like
Exactly.
us sitting down strategizing how to be financially free is almost better than getting that paycheck. It's almost better than actually having the money, because like it's about the journey. And I feel like that's true.
Now you mentioned quotes from rapper. My favorite quote is actually from Kanye or Ye, whatever you call himself.
Mm-hmm.
But in a song, I always think about it. Really all the time. He said, "Having money isn't everything. Not having it is." And that's like what we're all talking about right now. It's like when you have the money, when you're financially free, you realize how unimportant it is. Like we don't need it to live. Like we don't need it to be happy. Like what you buy with money might make you happy, but really it's relationships, people, family, whatever.
Yeah.
But not having money, that is everything too, because now you're worried about who's paying what bill you got to pay. Now you got to focus on paying rent. Now you're spending, you're working 9 to 5, and then you go home. You worry about for 2 hours, how am I going to pay this? You got to get another job. It's like having money. You realize how much money is just a game you play.
Yeah.
You need it to live, but like you don't. It sucks. It really does. But
Yeah.
not having money, that's where the problems
It
arise.
sucks even more.
People who don't have money probably think about money more than people who have a ton of money,
No,
because
that's
that's
right.
what they're
For
worried
sure.
about. They have to have. They need it. They need to worry about it.
Yeah.
So
And money's not happiness. It's a gateway to resources that you choose to be happy.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
tool. It's a tool for it. That's crazy that you mentioned that. It's like I talked to this one lady off of Instagram, and she got a lot of businesses. She got a lot of money, and she's talking about all her jobs and stuff. And she was just mentioning to me that like it doesn't make her happy. It's her connections with the people. It's her relationships, like how you mentioned.
Exactly.
And I think that's amazing, because when we go out on the regular day and we look at people and we talk to people about money moves, finances, all they're talking about is money, and then they're just disregarding like, okay, my family's here doing this, or my friends are here doing that, what they could do just like on the regular day with the people that are there now. I feel like that's really important, because then they're going to look back on the days and wish they could have, like how you mentioned, the time with them. So I feel like I feel like this conversation today is really great for both us, just for the reminder, and for the people who are going to watch, and for the people who are watching, so they could also just like keep that in the back of their head.
right.
Honestly.
I mean, the people that have really made it, if you look at it, did they have a good strategy, or did they have a lot of luck and a lot of risk that incorporated with that? What is your guys' mindset with that?
There is definitely always luck involved in any endeavor you choose. I mean, you're gonna get lucky, and you're also gonna fail all the time. So it's like it's hard to weigh that. It really is. But whenever you're starting a new business, or what Carter does, like day trading, there's always risk involved, right? Like when
Every day.
you can manage risk slightly more when you're trading, because you get to decide how much what you're buying. But like with a business, there's always going to be risk. You never really know how to predict the economy, and that's going to affect your business greatly all the time. So managing that risk, I mean, keeping it to a minimum. This is what we're talking about with like not jumping in when you have literally no money at all to benefit yourself or support yourself. That's managing your risk right there. If you have something to fall back on slightly, I'm not saying have a huge plan B where you're like totally set over here, so you don't. Then at that point, you're not even really paying attention too much to what you're doing. But like having some money where if something went wrong, you can still eat this month, right? You got your rent paid. That's managing your risk right there. Other than that, I think, especially for our age group, we can risk so much, because he said it earlier. This is the most spendable money we have. So if you can, however far up you can push that risk scale, that will help you greatly. That's where you take your shot, you jump off that cliff, and you do what you can. So
And
at
I'd
this,
Are you
at this age, I'm thinking risk, push it to like the limits. Push yourself to the limits. Live as low as you can.
high risk, high reward, baby?
Right.
That's very true.
But do it mindfully, right? Because you don't want to be like some of the people where
Right, don't be
their
dropping
whole-
your college funds on
Yeah.
trades. I was like, you could go from 10K to 20K, but that could be 2K real quick.
It's a subjective line that you have to put in your mind, where it's like, how much am I really willing to put into this? And that's that scale you create yourself. So at this age, like for me, mine's pretty high up right now, and I'm willing to lose a decent amount of money, not all of it, not close, but like
Yeah.
I'm willing to lose, and
Yeah.
that's important. But as you get older and you develop, you have a family, you got this
Mhm.
and that to pay. Now you got to take it down a little bit, and that's why so many people like us nowadays we're really pushing it right now, because this is the time where you really have a lot to lose, and it doesn't really matter because
Mhm.
you're gonna get
Exactly.
it back.
Most spendable money.
Yeah.
And also, I like to add, with that luck part of it, that's honestly part of my definition of success. It's all success is hard work mixed with opportunity, and that luck part is that opportunity. Because if you work hard, you work hard, you work hard, eventually an opportunity is gonna open up. Where if you work hard, you'll be in that opportunity. It's yours, but it's just working as hard as you can just to get to that point.
I feel like it's gonna unravel too. Like,
Oh, yeah.
like if you put in the work and you put in the time, like that luck part's gonna hit. I mean, I think Kobe mentioned
Eventually.
something about that. Like, if you've taken that game-winning shot so many times, if you put up,
Right.
1,000 shots a day, 2,000
Yeah.
shots a day,
Yeah.
it's gonna hit eventually.
It's gonna hit. Yeah, it's got to. It's
Bound to
bound to.
Mm.
Yeah.
Can't always pick when, but you know it will.
Eventually.
You know what I don't get? I mean, there's people out there that can barely afford to buy one meal a day, right? And then there's people out there that like have generational wealth, bro. Like people
That's
that have
awesome,
like money on top of money. Like this, is America one of like, I can't say the poorest country, but like the gap between the poor
Yeah.
and the rich
Massive.
isn't
Massive.
it insane
It's
compared to like
humongous.
other countries out there?
It's monstrous. It's huge.
Yeah, it
It's-
is.
There are
Really?
people who could buy a
Oh,
city,
yeah.
and in that city, there's people who are sleeping on the street. I
Yeah.
mean,
Like
it's insane.
how do you think how do we even get to that? Like, what do you think the reasoning for that is?
There are people
So-
very high up who have incredible generational wealth, and those families do not want many more people up there with them.
Exactly. It's just like what they say. If you took all the money in the world and evenly split it between everybody, within the next month or two, it's all going to be back in the exact same hands, because the spenders are going to spend it on the people who own the companies, and they're going to be making the money from the people spending it. It's all just going to go right back to exactly where it
It's
was,
crazy to think about.
right?
Yeah.
It's wild.
It's like when what checks hit. It's not a stipend check. It's a
Oh, yeah.
What's it called?
Yo,
What's it
the
called?
fucking, what is it? No, come on.
not reimbursement, right? It's not a. What is it called? When COVID hit,
S, some of the S.
what's it called? The check. The
Shoot.
check. Yeah, no, so many memes about it, bro.
Yeah.
Stimulus?
Stimulus, that's what it is. Yo,
Bro,
stimulus
that
check
kid
hit.
was buying freaking yachts.
Everyone was like, yo, stimulus check hit. You see him with the
Oh
new
my
dunks on,
God,
rocking the
man.
newest fit.
That's hilarious.
Dumbest thing ever. And
It's
then
like
now,
y'all are complaining about no jobs, and you're dropping
Yeah.
your stimulus check on this
literally,
money.
and that's
on
where
this
the money management
clothes.
come in, because
Right?
it's like
For
freaking.
sure.
I saw a picture. I literally saw a picture last week. This dude had his hair put up with the freaking Rolex, like an all gold.
yeah,
It was like the PPP boys.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff. I was like,
Oh,
my
come on,
God.
bro. They're the next Island Boys.
I have a question for you guys.
Good job.
You mentioned it earlier. I think you something just said about like a financial financial advisor or something like that. But are you guys gonna get a financial advisor? Like, is that something that you have like an agent / financial advisor? Is that the same thing or
So
no?
you legally need, it's not, so a financial advisor and an agent for your LLC, if you started one, two different things. You legally need an agent for any business you plan on starting. But, so like I said earlier, I'm in the military, so I have one for free. They give me one, so
Really? That's
I've
amazing.
been taking advantage of that for sure.
Definitely.
Very helpful guy. But yeah, I think
It's not a bad idea.
yeah,
I
it's,
mean,
it's not a bad idea. It's just like
almost more of like an accountant, depending on what business you're doing. Because like,
Yeah.
right.
if you
Well,
already- if you already-
personal
yeah.
financial,
Oh.
financial
Probably not.
advisor.
I'd probably become one before I got one.
If
They
I-
make good money
If
too.
I had
Yeah.
to pay for one, I wouldn't really.
Yeah.
I really wouldn't, because like this is a time to learn about that kind of thing.
Mhm.
Learn
Right.
how to do it yourself. Yeah. So if you're this young, you should probably just maybe learn how to do it yourself instead of
Right.
purchasing it. I mean, I don't know how expensive they are really. I don't.
I
know the numbers
mean,
on
they're
that.
not. I feel like they're not as much expensive. They're almost like, yeah, I'm gonna tell you where to put your money, but I get that 4%
Right,
royalty.
it's
I get that
yeah,
10%
yeah, if you
royalty.
just took the extra time and kind of learned it yourself, you
Right.
probably benefit later.
I feel like it's like a job for people who aren't as motivated. It's a job for people
Yeah.
who's like 9 to 5.
Who don't
want
wanna
to
look into it, right?
they don't want to spend their time on it. Like they have other things that they're interested in. They want to put their time into.
Like it's crazy with financial advisors. I had the chance to listen to one in one of my business classes, and they said like their pay range is all dependent upon them. I mean, there's people within the same business, within the same floor of like workers who make $100K a year, and there's people that are racking up like 1.5 and 2 mil every single year, just financially advising people and stuff like that. Like you choose your own hours. So like I always thought it'd be interesting, like to ask people that are successful with finance, like would you ever recommend getting one, or like it's just dependent on you,
Right.
Yeah. It's all dependent on
100%.
if you want to start a huge business and you don't know what to do with your finances, I'd get like a head of finance or a financial advisor just so that he can spend his time doing that while you spend your time growing and building your business. I'd say that's a smart move. I think as you get to a certain point in your business, you can make that decision of whether I want to keep my business at this level and do it myself, or if I want to take it to that next level and buy a financial advisor.
Well, like you said, time is money, and if you have an accountant, let's say you need an accountant for a business, I mean, like you need to make sure, like you need to have a professional that's willing to sit down, like it is their pay job to go in there and make sure you're not getting screwed with anything, like make sure nobody's stealing money from your company internally, make sure that things are set up for your taxes. Like I feel like there's really good investment. It's something that Warren Buffett said, who actually graduated from Nebraska. He said that the accounting is the language of business, and if you don't speak that language, you're going to be screwed.
Right.
And like my accounting for me was super tough, like the most basic accounting. But I mean, like that's important though. If you can't do the job, you got to pay somebody to do that job for you.
Exactly. And even if you're not the one putting all the numbers in, putting all the documents in, you still got to know what an income sheet is, or you still got to know what all your expenses, how to picture everything out, just so you're understanding your balance sheet, where you're understanding what he's doing too, and it's still gonna be a big part of your business. He could just feel like that back end of doing all your paperwork and everything, but it's definitely the language of business for sure.
So as far as 2023 goes, I know we just got into it. We're January 2nd.
Yes,
what are some finance goals that you guys have for your businesses, like compared to last year or this year? What are some changes you want to make?
My goal, I've said before, I really want to get to that $15,000 a month from the business. That's by the end of the year. I want that. That's too easy.
Right.
Man,
Right.
we gotta get you back in the pot when we hit that.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. I don't have a number goal. 2022 was a year of learning for me, and 2023, my just in general goal is turning that learning into growth. And obviously there'd be rewards as I go up the system, like 10K. I would not be in college anymore. 10K a month, because it'd still be growing, and if I saw like longevity in the business, I'd start hiring people to make certain calls for me, hiring people throughout the business that I'm planning on starting up here soon. If that could work out, a lot of learning, a lot of failure in 2022, turn that into growth in 2023.
What about you?
Goals? Oof. That's a great question. Let's come back to me.
Right.
Let's go back.
It's a deep question. You gotta take your time. You can't just throw out any answer to that.
I mean, as far as finances, or as far as
finances.
Like life finances, as far as finances go, I want to be making at least 1,000 on all my social medias a month. So my TikTok and my Instagram, I got that right now. My TikTok, I'm a little down, and just like get 1,000 a month on all my socials. That's basically that right now. And then honestly, I want to learn stocks too. I want to tap in with that.
Join the Limitless.
Honestly,
join the family.
Discord.
We got 5-6 traders trading at all times of the day.
They was traded 10 times on this podcast.
And the best part is we got. What if you? That's what I'm saying. Just pull out my phone right here and do some trading. Wait on 1 second. But no, There's definitely so many resources to learn in our Discord as well too. We got people teaching lessons. We got 2 of our traders are on live every single morning. So like they're explaining to you the setup, they're taking the trade with you, and they're explaining why what happens. So there's definitely a lot of growth to be done, but it's really self-driven. You got to find your own strategy.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So
it takes a lot of time.
The trading, Discord, trading, just owning a business. You got to find your own way.
Yeah,
You're gonna
fail.
literally
everything.
You can't copy paste anything.
You
can take formatting, but you can't copy paste it. You gotta put your own little twist to it.
Reinvent the wheel. Don't reinvent the wheel, but add your own spice to it.
Exactly.
At the same time. Yeah.
Preach.
Yes, sir.
Preach.
What about you, my boy? Tap me in.
For what financial goals?
Yes, sir.
For me, I just want to get up saved up I want to try to get 20K saved up by the end of 23. I feel like that's a
for
solid,
sure.
respectable goal.
Being the
Just
college
spending money
athlete you
away.
are,
Yeah,
that's-
being a college athlete, bro, just having that
That's
money
a lot of
there.
your time.
for a
Invest in
rainy day.
yourself. Invest in yourself.
Yeah.
That's what lifting is. That's why I lift in general. That got me that growth
100%.
mindset
It's
because
right back.
say everything in life is failing, I can still look in the mirror and see that day by day I'm
got
at least
gains.
investing in myself.
I got
I'm getting those gains. Yo, exactly.
That's huge.
That's
Investing in the physical, investing in the financial. That's huge, man.
Yeah.
But
For sure.
you know, as we're closing up this podcast, man, is there anything else you guys want to touch on? Financial advice, life advice, anything for the pod? Timeless talks.
We hit a lot of good.
We had some great
Yeah.
topics, yeah, man.
We did.
I think we pretty much nailed it. Yeah, this is a good podcast. A lot of people will hopefully learn a lot.
Yeah, I think so. I learned a
I
lot.
think so. Take notes.
And we ain't here all teaching. We learning every day too. We're right there with you. We ain't above you guys at all.
This is the side hobby. The podcast
Right?
is the side hobby, but we put our all into it when we can.
None of us are where we want to be, but we're just all motivated enough to try and get there.
Exactly.
All together.
Appreciate the journey, man.
Stay motivated. Yes, sir.
Well, awesome. Chris, you want to go ahead and close out this podcast?
First podcast of 2023. We got talking about the money moves. If you are not making the money moves for your time, then you got some things to learn, and that's what it's all about. Let's go into 2023, learning new things, making some growth, making lessons into successes. Thomas Talks.
Also, shop timelesstalks.org, baby. Help us out financially.
Sure it's clean,
Buy
too.
merch.
Go buy the clean merch.
Come on, man. Help us
I
out.
need to go buy me one of those.
So you can get that.
Listen,
Timelesstalks.org. You can buy it on
Go
timelesstalks.org.
check it out.
We'll
Go
ship
check
it
it
right to
out.
your house within 2 weeks.
Too clean.
$100 and over, you get free shipping.
Oh,
Get your free shipping. Get all your friends in on the order. Get that free
Exactly.
shipping.
By the phone.
Let's go. Peace out.
Have a good one.